Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Layer of the Land. We're back in our studios in Modi'in, and I'm Rolene Marks, your host. So let's take a look at today's top story. And just hours ago, the German parliament passed a landmark resolution, although non-binding, declaring or rather outlawing Hezbollah in Germany. The resolution states that Germany will not tolerate any activity that is conducted by Hezbollah or any of their representatives in their state, and that the country makes no distinction between Hezbollah's military and political wing. And Germany is one of the latest countries to outlaw Hezbollah. This follows several other countries, including Argentina, who have declared the once recognized as a guerrilla organization, but now increasingly recognized as a terrorist organization. And our hope is that many will follow suit. Hezbollah is recognized by many states around the world, including Israel, as a proxy of Iran, and have been responsible for many terror attacks, not just in Israel in our north, but also around the world, including the Amir bombings in Buenos Aires, Argentina. In other news, Cyprus becomes the 17th state to adopt IHRA. IHRA is the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism, where it includes, amongst many definitions, the delegitimization or the singling out of Israel at the expense of basically other issues around the world. Now, some have criticized IHRA, saying that perhaps it prohibits free speech and the criticism of Israel. But here we have to make an important distinction. It's one thing to criticize Israel's policies, that is fair and democratic. In fact, it's the national sport in Israel. But it's another thing to call into questions Israel's right to exist as the nation state of the Jewish people. And the IHRA definition deals with that. So we applaud Cyprus, and Israel is very, very happy that Cyprus has become one of many states around the world to adopt the definition. And yesterday it was very interesting to hear from US Special Envoy on anti-Semitism, Ilan Carr, in his speech, talk about the importance of IHRA, but not just in adopting it, but also in its implementation. And several countries like France and Germany are implementing IHRA at various levels, including in law enforcement. So a very, very important step towards the combating of rising anti-Semitism. And our final story for the day, early hours of this morning, sirens went out across southern Israel as rockets were fired from the Gaza Strip into the territory. Thank goodness Iron Dome batteries were able to intercept the rockets, and in response, the Israeli Air Force have struck Hamas targets within the Gaza Strip, including a weapons facility. And we are hoping for a calm weekend without sirens and without rockets. There is a tacit calm following the recent barrage of rockets, nearly 700 over the period of 48 hours. This occurred after Israel assassinated a top Islamic Jihad leader, and in response, Palestinian Islamic Jihad fired hundreds of rockets which were anticipated by Israel, and thank goodness we were prepared. So these are the top stories making headlines today, and it's the weekend, which means it's time for you to catch up on your Layer of the Land reading. And where else could you find it but on our website at www.layeroftheland.online. You can read all about Boris Johnson's escapades in Israel as a young man serving on a kibbutz. Don't forget that our Facebook community is growing. We'd love you to be a part of it. Like us, follow us, share our content, invite your friends, and see where we are in Israel tomorrow, where we will be bringing you Shabbat wishes. And we also feature articles from our archives on a Saturday. Go see which one we've picked for you to read this weekend. And also don't forget the important role you play in disseminating information about Israel and Israel's narrative, and you can find it at our YouTube channel at the Israel Brief. Click on the subscribe button below. You'll be notified every time we post a brief. And remember, the more people who subscribe, the more of us are able to tell Israel's side of the story. So I'm Raylene Marks, wishing you a restful and peaceful weekend. If you're traveling around the country, around the world, please be safe, travel safely. For our viewers who are celebrating Christmas, we wish you a very Merry Christmas. For all our viewers celebrating Hanukkah, we wish you Chag Hanukkah Sameach. We'll be counting down the nights of Hanukkah starting Monday. And from all of us at Lay of the Land, Shabbat Shalom. I'm Raylene Marks. We'll chat again next week.